That always gets me, that does, because when you push it, it mutes everything and you can't fucking
Oh,
talk.
It says you in the show. Now, can I just quickly put something on let people know about this? What's the...
Yeah, Greasy
did that-
Teas. Yeah, Independent Freedom, Greasy Smitty's Independent Freedom on YouTube. Yeah, you can bang it on bolt buckets there.
Right, hang on. On now live. Oh, that's, what is it? Independent.
Independent Freedom, Smitty. YouTube.
Smitty, if you gave me some fucking time, I could have had all this sorted. That's what I've been waiting on you to go, Chris, this is what's happening. Here's the links.
Yeah, well,
on
like
now live,
I said,
Independent Freedom, Smitty, YouTube.
Yeah, I used to get on there and get half an hour before and get it all sorted, but then you find yourself chatting about interesting things when you're doing it. So people miss that. So I just, fucking now, do it. Sort some stuff out, have a bit of yarn. Bolt buckets there. Hello.
Oh, here we go. Yep, okay. I'm just getting a link to make it easier for people.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm big on promotion. So I'm there. That's me. That's you. And that's where am I gone? Okay. And then I can put it on both my sites. On Now Love Freedom in Smitty YouTube, 13 questions. Okay, well, that's a good start. If I get a few people in there, copy, then I'll put that on my page as well.
Yeah.
There you go. Are we live now? Am I
live now? Yep. As soon as that fucking counting thing finishes, we've gone live. So it's all good. I've only worked that out the last couple of lives. So then I went to jump on StreamYard to actually buy into it and see what extras you can get, but it's a lump sum of fucking $200 and something, which I ain't got. And the extras you get, I thought, I can handle the free one, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. So
all you can do is...
That's it. I've put it on my site, so hopefully there might be some people with a link to your YouTube page. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a couple of people join us.
I love the goggles. I do too. You always got your goggles on.
Yeah. I'm all about the brand. So it's all about, that's me. I'm a brand strategist. So,
And since we've been chatting on YouTube and all in the group on like an Instagram and all that, it's been really good and interesting to know what you do in a line of work. Like I remember when COVID started, you lost your job and all that, and it was quite hard. Yeah. Also, it was because you're organising that big Indian, the Indian meetup and all that, and it just went to shit. And I know you would have.
Oh, I lost. I mean, I was touring shows. I'm a writer producer, so I had written shows that I was touring around Australia. I lost all that. I lost the big Indian event that I was producing.
Loads of money and all that. Yeah.
Been horrible, but I've really walked away from the whole entertainment scene now because it's a lot of work. The arts don't get the support that they should from any quarters really, and it's just a hard slog. And I'm too old and too over it now. I'm too cynical, so I just really want to get out there and ride the motorbike and go exploring. But I've come up with this other idea now, which I guess we will talk about.
Yeah, for sure, because that's why I sort of brought that up. That India organising and the Indian world event and world record attempt and everything and all that stuff. Then like when your line of work, like I was saying on the Instagram, you pop the photos up for the grand final. You had dealings with both them clubs with Russell Crowe and South and also.
I worked. It's funny how I fell into the whole scene because I was. My old trade is hairdressing and I was a trichologist and makeup, and I sort of kept expanding in that trade, and I went into doing theatrical makeup and wig work for theatre, and I fell in love with the whole theatre scene, and so then I decided in my mid-30s to go to university, and I did a triple major Bachelor of Arts degree in theatre theory and practice, multimedia and marketing.
Yeah.
And I was going to do a year of a dip education to teach drama and English literature.
Yeah.
But then Panthers were were opening up this big 1,000-seat theatre, and I thought, oh, hang on a minute. So I just wrote to them and said, look, I will work for nothing for you to prove to you that you can't live without me and manage and open that theatre. It deserves a professional. And they go, well, sure. In those days, you could do that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was only there a couple of weeks, and then they said, oh, I was managing the theatre, and I opened that. And then they gave me all the, the bar entertainment and all the special events and the big festivals that they did. And then after about 12 weeks, from going from zero, they said, what do you know about football, Chris? And I go, absolutely fucking nothing. I don't have a sporting bone in my body. And I said, why is that? And they go, well, we need a game day producer. And I go, I'm a producer. So it doesn't matter what it is. I'll produce. So then I was thrown straight into producing all the Panthers home games. Yeah. And then the NRL picked me up, and I started producing all the city country matches for the NRL. Then I became second director for all the final series. And then at that point, Parramatta dangled a huge carrot. Yeah. And I listened to my head, not my heart. And they offered me a lot of money and a lot of perks. And I left Panthers, which was really hard, but I went to Para, but I knew the day I walked in there that I made the worst decision of my life. But you say that, but in retrospect, it propelled me. So I only lasted 6 months there. After my 6 months, I said, look, this is not working for me, and I know I'm not working for you. And we parted company on good terms. And then the Rabbitohs picked me up and did another decade there. Then Panthers got me to come back, and Panthers and Rabbitohs shared me. I did Rabbitohs NRL and Panthers the club, and I went back as their entertainment marketing manager. And after working 7 days a week.
That's the funniest thing with Panthers, because they had the whole nightclub sort of link in all the different towns and that too. So it wasn't just in Sydney. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just, then I did 4 more years or something with Panthers and Rabbitohs, and I wanted my weekends back because I wanted to write and produce my own shows. I wanted to get on the motorbike thing, and I needed my weekends back, and you can't have weekends when you're working in hospitality. So I left there, and I got the current job I'm in now, which is a Monday to Friday office job for a trade union for club managers. So that's my bread and butter money, Monday to Friday. And so that left the weekends for me to tour my shows, but that's all finished. Now I've picked up the tools again at 62 and doing this barbering biker idea that I hope gets some traction now that the COVID's behind us, and I can really get into planning that properly.
But that's the thing too. Like I remember leaving school, like in the oldies, they said to me, they jumped in, if you can't leave, you can go to year 11 and 12, or if you get a trade, an apprenticeship, you can take your apprenticeship. And that's fallen along the wayside these days, because, they did there for a long time, because that's why there's no tradies around.
I know. Well, I've got to say,
you can always fall back on it, like what you had to do. And
absolutely. And it's been, and I fell back on it a bit by default. I was getting worried because my day job was getting cut, and that's just not enough to pay my bills. And then just out of the blue, I got approached by an aged care facility at Elizabeth Bay, and they go, look, we need old hairdressers, because we do things that the new hairdressers can't do, like wine perms and all that old lady stuff. And and they go, can you do all that? And I go, yeah. And they go, look, we need someone 2 days a week. And I go, actually, this is perfect. And it just got me over the hump.
Yeah.
That extra little bit of money. And but when I went in there, I was just like Edward Scissorhands. Like I was cutting away and mixing chemicals like I'd been out of the trade for nearly 30 years, and it's like I'd never left. And and I thought, shit, I'm actually good at this, and it's so natural for me. And I thought, how can I join my trade up with motorbike world? And and here comes the barbering.
That's a great idea, and I like how you go into towns and then they put someone in the town and bushy beard and everything. So you got something.
I know, and do the whole big
useless because I got no fucking
hair. Charge you a search fee.
Yeah, that's it.
So I mean, I've done 5 now, and at the moment there's no money in it. Like I mean, they put me up for the night and give me a drink, but I've got to get to the point where I've got to be able to cover fuel, and I've got to get paid, because I do promote it a lot. I bring a lot of people to, into the town, followers and everything, the bike riders. So, people pay $300 or $400 for an acoustic guitarist, for instance, for 3 hours on a
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
So I'm thinking, treat me as, you've booked an entertainment, but I work really hard for that venue. I'll pre-promote, I get in contact with media, I put out events, I tell the biking community and everyone to come to town. So it's good value. And I do the makeover always around a feed time. So it's either lunchtime or dinner. I go in, do the stuff, and then I take the person away. And while I'm doing the thing, that's when everyone can order their meals and have a drink. So it's really good for the venue. And then I bring them back in after 45 minutes or so, and the big reveal. And the town love it because I get they've got to dob someone in because I don't know the locals. So everyone that's there sort of feels like it's their idea and they've dobbed him in. And so they feel a bit of ownership for the whole concept. So when they come out all new, everyone's like, it really gives a good vibe to the whole town, not just to the one person. So
yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of good aspects to it. And I can't crack the TV idea. I'm just not fucking the right people because I've sent it to that many things. And, all I get is, no more middle-aged white people, or we've already got back roads, which this is nothing like. And I'm just not, I just can't crack it. I've tried everything. I've just now tried another angle with Buy from the Bush.
Yeah.
Who knows,
It's, that's just people here in Australia in general, I think. It's like when I was with the social club, I was the social officer and all that, and I organised runs, rallies and parties and all that with the club. And it was fucking hard yak, especially dealing with people. You're going in there and you're sort of wheeling and dealing and saying, because we had one at the Airport Tavern, which is shut now. And I put the whole rally on and sorted it out and did it all myself pretty much. And it's hard yakka, and at the end of the weekend and the day, like, you just let your hair down. But organising the band and then going to see the patrons, because it was a poker run and we finished there at the end of the day, and we organised with the manager and all that. Like, we've got our own trailer, we'll have beers on the back and whatnot, and we rolled up. And instead of being 150 bikers, there was only about 70 that were going to stay. So I said to him, look, we're not going to sell alcohol. We'll push that aside. We'll buy all the beers in here and the bar, and we've got the band. And he was unhappy because he had to put all these people on to service. And I said, we'll send them home. Like, we're all going to buy drinks. We're not going to go nowhere. We're here for the night. You let us camp out back. We've got tents set up. And we're going to stay all night. So send them home if you don't want to pay them, but we'll buy all your alcohol over the bar, and we'll sort you out that way. We've paid half for the band. Like, he was only going to give us a two-piece guitarist and whatnot. And I said, no, mate, that's not going to cut it. It says we'll double it, and we've got another band and it's twice as much as that, and we'll pay the other half if you're willing to. Let them play. And he goes, yep. And lucky we did, because even the national president of that club, he loved it. and his wife loved it, and they still rage about the party and after the poker on at the venue. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's a lot of organising, and then at the end of it, it's just
tell me about it. I wrote and produced shows, but I was also like booking them, contracting them, negotiating the whole deal. I was stage manager, roadie, promotions person, publicist, agent. Like, I wore a lot of hats, and it's a lot of work. Yes, I end up, if I'd sell a show, I'd be paid. But if I had to pay myself for every hat I wore, couldn't do it. Like, it wouldn't be worth it,
Yeah, so, exactly.
So I've walked away from that business. But having said all that, there's parts of it I really miss. And there's one show that I co-wrote or co-produced with a guy called Scott McRae, who's about Stevie Wright and the Easy Beats. It was the first of the documentary series. And he's now, I sort of pulled out of the partnership, but he's resurrecting it after we retired it. And he's now just saying, let's get together again. So you might see my name pop up again.
Yeah, and that's like at I don't know, the patron of the pub was happy by the end of the weekend, or even that afternoon, because we rolled up at 2:30, 3 o'clock. We had a tattoo competition and all that all happening at the time and everything, and gymkhana and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And he topped his weekend drinks quota by 4:30 of that Saturday afternoon. So we hadn't even got into the night time yet. So I said to him, look, what are you worried about? Like, it was the best weekend he had in a long time.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of organising, and like you were just saying, like you did that for work and all that, and it's sort of getting onto our meetup type of thing. Like I tried to kick it off a couple of years ago, but then COVID started and all that, and it didn't happen. And then I tried to make it in August, first week, was it third week, last weekend in August before Father's Day. It was the only sort of weekend I could find that no one had anything on.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard. Like,
then that sort of worked because it was before Father's Day, and not many people do too much then. But then venues and people trying to get there, and the COVID thing just fucked it all up. But like how you already know the cafe, the venue, and like with your links and everything else with your work, and because you've been riding everywhere, it's just booming. And like,
I think it'll be a good turnout. Actually, I mean,
it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be
as well as the content creators. You know, I'm telling groups like the Sydney Hog, they got their introduction ride that day, and I said, well, it couldn't get more of a perfect introduction ride to the new members than to come out Putty Road and meet other biking communities. And they go, yeah, you're right. So, and, you know, there's Indian riders and individuals, social groups, Ulysses people. I've been telling everyone. So it should be a really good eclectic mix for some really good camaraderie with the biking and enthusiast community. So
it's going to be good. And a lot of, with your links and all that, with your line of work and all that, it's just made it boom. And like, as in, like
I hope so. Well, you know, it's what I do. So I think I've just found the chat bar. I didn't have that before. So you're
seeing me now where I'm clicking on everyone's comments.
Right. Okay. Bolt Bucket, born in Penrith. Well, I'm an Emu Plains girl, mate. I'm a Westie.
Westie,
I went to high school there, and grew up in on River Road, actually, before it became Leonay, before it became a bit upper class. You know, back in my day, it was just Emu Plains, and it was all bush.
It's funny when I did my apprenticeship in Sydney, because I was in Ulladulla. I was born in Canberra, and we moved to Ulladulla. Grew up there when I was 10, and used to travel from Ulladulla to Sydney for my apprenticeship in Mascot, and I stayed at Mascot and Maroubra and worked in Kensington, Mascot, with my trade. And I hung around all the eastern suburbs like Bondi, Coogee, Tama, Cronulla, Maroubra. Stayed at Maroubra, and then my mate that worked there, the other apprentice, he lived out of Liverpool, Mount Pritchard. So we're always zinging out there through Hurstville to get to Liverpool and Westie Country and Mount Pritchard and all that. That's where he was from. And so I know all that side of town. It was then my best man at the wedding. He lived at Hornsby and Warrenora. So we always were zimming over there. So all over for like 4.5 years. I know the back streets and all the nooks and crannies of Sydney. And then I was glad to get out of there, by the way, actually 4.5 years. I'm a country boy. It was too quick for me.
But I live between the city and the Blue Mountains now, so I sort of but eventually I'll be of no fixed address. That's my dream, to not have any address. So there's people waiting. They want us to give us the baby, I think, not the labor pains. So what happens now? Do you is that what
we can start it. It's all good. Big 5 in the chat. So
Is this recorded and goes up on YouTube a bit later or something?
Yeah, once the live ends, it's on YouTube now as we're going. Right. And then at the finish, we'll shut the broadcast down, and then it stays on your channel so people to watch it.
Okay, right, gotcha. Okay.
And also when they watch it, if you watch it on your phone, you can see the side chat and all that as you go.
I can see the side chat on my computer, but I can't make comments. So
you can't. Anyway. Oh, it's probably Oh,
I can answer if I see a question. I can answer it.
Yeah.
So Bolt Bucket. Oh yes, Steph's there. Bikers, Burgers, Beers. Who else is there? Clinton. Tropical Rider Oz. Okay. Harley Throttle Juice. I know those guys. Hachui. Yeah. I'm yet to meet some of these people.
Yeah, virtually most of the crew from the group are here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about my inability to connect so much. I keep forgetting about Instagram bloody message, and I'll be honest with you, I've turned off the notifications because it's going batshit, and I
do too, especially when I'm at work, and then I go on there and there's like fucking 9+ questions. I miss. And
then you see all these messages, and you go, oh, I can't even deal with all that at the moment.
I miss half the conversations all the time.
So Chris, I can answer. So if anyone's got any questions, but you've got 13 questions for me, is that right?
Yeah, we've got 13 questions. We'll start. It's just all about YouTube.
I lost my virginity at 14 and 10 months.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one question out the way.
Yeah.
Line Golf Course, actually, where I lost my virginity. On the 10th hole. Can't remember much about it.
On the 5th hole, the 5th fairway.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but I do remember his name, Kim Baker. If you're out there, he was from New Zealand. His dad was in the RAF, and they were sort of like traveling through.
Yeah.
He was the hottest thing that came to Nepean High. And I went to, before we get on, this is worth listening to.
Yeah.
So 20 years later, I organised a school reunion, or 25 years. And I said to the girls at the table, I go, remember Kim Baker? And they go, yeah, he was hot. And I go, I lost my virginity to him. And then bloody Jenny said, well, so did I. And it turns out he did the lot of us.
He's playing the field.
I made up a poem. I called him Kim Baker, the Hymen Breaker. And I created a whole exhibition based around that called The Cherry Pickers, which was at the Lewis Gallery in Emu Plains. And it was one of their most successful exhibitions they ever had. So we talked about losing. Anyway, that's another story. So let's go, mate. Let's go.
Like New Zealand. Funny you say New Zealand. Remember when you were riding around New Zealand and you lost your phone?
Yes.
Yeah, that's sort of when I actually started watching your channel. I remember you lost your phone and I said, oh, fuck yeah, that happened. And we got yakking that way, and that's how I got onto your YouTube channel. I've been watching you from there.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I got New Zealand again in 18 February.
All going well. 2 years. Yeah.
All going well. New Zealand this coming February, the South Island this time. Fingers crossed.
I've cruised around it twice, but next time I want to go over there and get a camper and do, because we know all the vloggers and all that there and people, and we want to go and see them. Righto. We'll start these questions. They're not very hard. They're true and false. And no, it's just the simple one is that what inspired you to do a YouTube channel? That's the first question.
More to document my life. I'm a grandmother, and I want a legacy for my grandchildren. So it wasn't really about being out there. I mean, it's become that now, but in the early days, I thought I want my grandchildren to say, this is my grandma, and just check.
In all honesty, I think that's how it starts. Like that's with me too. Like people have heard me on lives, and when we're chatting, I always say, like, you got all these photo albums and they're under the stairs, and you can't get the flick through them. So YouTube, and like when you got a GoPro and cameras and all that, you put it on there.
I do love editing. I really love editing. I could sit all day and edit, which is limited because my filming is pretty shit at times. So you can only play with what you've got to do. And then but I do love that whole process of documenting and telling a story, and I love the adventures and discovery. And I just like to think that, my grandkids I'll live forever, when the day comes where I'm gone, they can say, let's have a party night and look at the old crazy bitch, and what she's done.
That's like,
Auntie Jack. That's it. Auntie Jack. You do look a bit like Auntie Jack. Yeah. That's one of Tropical Rider Oz. You started because your grandmother. Okay.
That's like when I started mine, like the same thing. We had a GoPro, went to New Zealand in our first cruise. I only used it for filming around Hobbiton and then put it away. And it was like, hadn't used it for fucking 12 months after that. And then when I left the social club, had the GoPro there, and I was watching YouTube. I was only just starting. I've had the YouTube channel for fucking 4 or 5 years, but I only just started doing the channel 2.5 years ago, because I left the club and I started watching Adam Sandoval's trekking around the US to all the 100 Harley shops and all that. And I was mainly watching it for the countryside, and the story was interesting too. Then I'm going, fuck, I can do that. It's just like I can do that. And I said, well, I'm watching it to see their country. Maybe they're like want to, to show our country and show them as well. So then I've sort of mixed it up, because Mrs. Smitty's got osteo in her fingers and she can't ride and hasn't got a license, but she can ride, because that's how we hooked up. We used to go trail bike riding all the time in high school and after school. And so we bought the 4-wheel drive, and that's just opened up a whole new adventure up here. When COVID came, we bought the 4B. There's so many waterfalls and valleys and picnic spaces and beaches and national parks to go look at up here at the mid-north coast. It's pretty mind-blowing. So that's a plus. I'm yet to get on the trail bike, head out bush and do some filming on that. So it'll be all around those 3 things, and I'm just hanging to get out there on the Harley too, to go riding and get some videos. I was planning to do it this week, and look at the weather, pissing down rain all week. So it's this always happens when you want to do something.
So I'm just looking at the side chat. Like Steph's up the mountains with me, and I remember that Arnie Jack's restaurant, and Rochelle and Roger. Rochelle, I think, spotted me riding through Windsor one day, and she put a notice on some bike pages, and she goes, "Does anyone know about this woman that's on this bike with a lot of tassels and leather?" And then people saying, "Oh yeah, that's the Aussie and the Indian, or that's Chris Keeble, and that's how I met those guys." And Roger did a big photo shoot. In fact, the photos that Roger did of me and the bike to this day get so much attention, and people want them for front covers of magazines and everything. So his pictures have gone all through America. Like, I think that's what's made me so popular in America, is Roger's photographs of me and the bike. It was fantastic. So thanks again, Roger. It was a great day. And Rochelle was fantastic. I learned how to stick my ass out and put my tits up.
The poses. Well, it teaches a lot of things, those two.
Okay, so question number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
What other hobbies do you have, not bike related?
Other hobbies I have that's not bike related?
Yeah.
Well, probably writing. I mean, I love writing and researching rock icons. Yeah. And, researching their life from birth to death and writing a whole stage production around them. I thoroughly enjoy doing that. I mean, I haven't done it now for a while because I've given away, but that would probably, I always say, motorbikes, music and motherhood are and marketing. Like, I love marketing and brand strategy, as I think is pretty obvious with the way I do things. But so motorbikes, music and motherhood. And I just adore being a grandmother. Like, it's been the most amazing thing ever. I love it.
The triple M's.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that
used to be good back in the day when Doug Mulray was on it. I remember that. Yeah. That's when I was doing my trade. That's when I was in the late 80s, early 90s when I was doing my trade.
I'm a bit of a creative, so I like art. I like sculpting, mask work.
Yeah.
I made puppets. I've done puppetry, and
that's the best thing. Creative. Best thing I did at school was art and sport. That was it.
Okay, right. Number 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
When did you learn to moto?
Okay, in my mid-20s, my husband had a motorbike. I dragged him from the colonies. I met and married him in the UK when I was on the hippie trail, as all Aussies are supposed to do. Dragged him back to Australia. The only pommie there that didn't want to live in Australia. I had to pick that one. But anyway, convinced him. And he got a motorbike to go to work in. And then I went on the back and I hated it as a pillion. And he said, well, why don't you just get your license? And so I did. And so I was in my mid-20s. But then I started having babies. So as soon as I sort of got my license, I stopped, spent 10 years having babies and raising kids. Yep. And then got back on it. So that's probably my mid-20s. I started. had a bit of a break, and then got really into it again a bit later on.
That's cool. It's a go of the reins.
Yeah, I just it's me. It's just like I crack the whip and I get on with it.
That's it. All good. Question 4. This all drones. I don't know if you've got a drone.
Probably no, not. And I've looked at them, I've considered them, but I think they're just a bit too much fucking around for me, which is why I got the 360. And I think that will give me a little bit of a different perspective, enough at the moment for what I need.
That's that's if you can work out fucking software. My 360, I can't even get it from the SD card to the laptop.
Well, this one I've decided I'm doing it all on the app, the editing, because you only ever need a few seconds of that shot. So it's easier on the app with this Insta360, and I get the bit I want, I download it, and then I airdrop it to my computer. All there. It's no, I can't edit on the computer 360.
That's probably what I've got to do with mine, because the problem with mine is, like, got on your SD card and on your app you got you got your eggshell and your fucking what's the view. Yes. And that's the one I want to use. But when you go with the SD card and put in the laptop, you only get the eggshell one. But on your app, you can watch all different views.
Yeah, and then you just use your fingers to get the angle you want, and you pinpoint that thing. So you're telling it that's the view I want. I'm still teaching myself. I haven't perfected it, but I'll
have to look in the app, because that's the thing. Like, it keeps doing the eggshell thing, and I want to. When Easter time, went to family down with Jasper, and going down Barrenjack Dam, around the dirt tracks and hairpins and all that. I got the panoramic view of going down there, and when you come to a hairpin, you can see where you've been, and where you're going, and where you've been in the same shot. So it looks really good.
Yeah, it does. It's terrific.
I've just trying to finalise it. It's not fucking working.
Yeah. It just takes practice, but I'm getting there, and I'm enjoying it. I think I'm good. And Harley Throttle Juice, Chris, the one with you lying backwards on your bike, that's the money shot, mate. You remember that? Oh, that's me. I'm lying back, and that
I do remember that one.
That picture was just a bit of I was just mucking around while Roger was setting up something, and I'm just going back and laughing, and he just took a couple of snaps, and that was. And
they're usually the ones too when you are fucking. I'm getting a drink. They work. The ones where you're just fucking around and ad-libbing, and they work out better than the ones that you got to pose.
Oh well, I mean, Roger did some other great ones as well that have appeared on lots of things, but that was one of my favorites. Done a great job, and I look so skinny in those as well.
I like to think I like to think I could say that, but I was never fucking skinny. So.
Bolt Bucket saying too hard. I'm assuming you're referring to 360 footage. Bolt Bucket too hard. That's what I thought. Okay, now we're up to
Well, that's why in the question, like, I got drones there. The ones that do have drones, I say, drones, what's your worst drone experience that you've encountered?
I learned something off a guy who said, whatever drone you get, the first one, get a cheap one or a secondhand one. He said, because 100% guarantee you're gonna lose it. So start with something like shit. Get practice, and then lose it or smash it, and then move up.
I got one for Christmas, and I pushed the one button launch button on it, and that's it. It took off.
Yeah. So I'm not going down that path, but if I was, I'd get a secondhand one that didn't matter if I lost a few $100. But at the moment, I can't lose a few $100. So what's part B to the drone?
Part B, the music one. It's coming up. It says. Favorite music band you've seen live?
Oh God,
it'd be hard for you because you've done a lot of concerts.
A lot.
What's the most standout one?
What's the what?
The most sort of one that stood out to you.
Look, in the early days, it was Bob Dylan, because I'm a mad Bob Dylan fan. Bob Dylan, Neil Young. I'm a bit of
everyone must get stoned and all that. Yeah, I know.
Well, that's probably it's not my favorite of his, but Blood on the Tracks would have to be up there. One of my favorite albums, but I'm a folky Americana blues sort of girl, blues rock. So the first concert I ever went to was a band called Slade. Come on, feel the noise. It was just like back in the days, the old Sharpies and everything. So that was the first concert I went to. But I've really, because I'm really been a mad Dylan tragic for a long time. But also, people, I love Melissa Etheridge, for instance. I like very lyrical based music where there's a story and lots of words. I don't like death metal. I don't like heavy metal stuff. I like storytelling music, if you like, which is probably why I lean towards folk, Americana, country rock. I'm not a big fan of traditional country, like Slim Dusty sort of stuff. I don't particularly like that, but I like Keith Urban and the more rocky, the Teskey Brothers and things like that. I like that sort of stuff. I don't know what genre you put them in.
I went and seen John Butler with my youngest fella a couple of years ago at Coffs Harbour at the Park Beach Hotel, Caravan Park. And it was John Butler, Missy Higgins, and the Teskey Brothers. And mate,
great lineup.
It was awesome. And as soon as I heard that, my son said, "You like this type of music, don't you, Dad?" And I said, "Yeah, mate, I've already downloaded it on my YouTube music, and I've got the album, and I've subscribed to them, I got all their links, and mate, they're awesome." I only seen today that I think it's the singer. He's gone solo. He's just put a solo out today. Yeah. I'm yet to have a look at that. I'll probably have a listen to that tomorrow at work, actually. I said that to the missus. I said, "I'll listen to that tomorrow." So, but no, Teskey Brothers, they're awesome.
Question number 5.
Yep, we're getting there. Just got to. I got to go in and out of the chat. I got to go out of the chat into the banners.
I see. Right. Yeah. I can see them scrolling along the bottom.
Yeah, this is a good one. I like this one. This gets us nitty gritty. Tell us something mischievous about yourself that your parents don't know about.
Well, since I did the big exhibition about losing my virginity and they came to the opening night, I did make the big announcement on the night of how old I was, where it happened, and with who. So that would have been probably one of my biggest secrets. What age I was having sex. Well, not having sex. I lost my virginity. I don't think I did it much after that. It was just a rite of passage that we all had to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
I was 60 when I tried my first line of coke.
Yeah.
They don't know about that. I was in my, I've tried the odd joint. I don't smoke dope or anything, but I have tried it, at a stage. But I was 60 when I tried cocaine for the very first time. A friend of mine said, "Let's go and do a line." I go, "What's that?" And they go, "You're kidding. You work in the entertainment industry. You're amongst it all, and you've never had cocaine." I go, "No, never." And he said, "Well, you've got to try it." And I go, "Oh, as long as it's not bad." And they go, No. Anyway, I tried it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. And I'm glad I'm poor because, anyone that does a lot of coke is God's way of saying that they're earning too much money, obviously. Yeah. It's way too expensive to get. But I must say, for 45 minutes, I was the happiest, chattiest. I mean, I'm happy and chatty anyway. So it was like 200% more than what I am now. And I was coming up with all these ideas. It was ridiculous. So I did love it. And I think if it was ever put in front of me again, I'd quickly do it again. But that's something my parents would be horrified to think that I've done. Because, we just don't, we're just such a normal, straighty 180 family. They probably can't even believe it.
I'm a black sheep too. I got 2 older brothers, and they're pretty wild. They're pretty wild, mate. They've probably done a lot of things as well, but I'm there now with tattoos and all that, and and the bike and everything else. But my brothers, they're mad hunters, so they're always out fox shooting and pig shooting and football and everything else.
Steph has never had coke, just the herb. Yeah, Steph. Me and my daughter, we're going into producing gummies. If you're interested, if you want to pop up and get any of those.
The gummies.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of a sideline hustle, maybe. No, I'm just joking because I know that's all illegal. So I'm just pretending.
I've never had coke. I've seen it around, but
it's fantastic. shocking to say that, but it is. But I've only done it that once, and now I'm 62, so the opportunities are going.
To be honest, all the hard drugs and all that, they must be, because it's so easy for all these people to get hooked on it. Look,
the things like I've never taken a tablet like ecstasy. I'd never take anything like a tablet or heroin or inject, nothing like that, nothing. And even Coke is dodgy, because you get half of it could be bloody Ajax and baby powder.
Drano, that's what it was back in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy that I fully trusted him, and it was fine, and it was fantastic. So,
okay, let's go.
Before I hear the coppers banging on my door, but I don't do anything else. So that was just an experiment that I did. At 60, mind you, at 60 years old, I tried it. Ridiculous.
No.
Arlo Guthrie rides an Indian. So yes, Arlo Guthrie. Well, he was the son of Woody Guthrie. I'm just looking at the side chat.
Yeah.
And Daily Commute talks about Arlo Guthrie. In fact, I communicated with Arlo Guthrie back in the day from Panthers, because he was looking at touring, and had a bit of a chat. But that was before I was into Indian motorbikes. So now that I know, it'd be great to connect with him again. There you go. I just saw Arlo Guthrie, and he's another good one.
Yeah. Number 6. Oh, it's just what's your most favourite sport to play or watch live on telly? Nothing.
I do not have a sporting bone in my body. Not one. I'm not interested in any sport. I worked for rugby league for 25 years, and I never watched 80 minutes of a game from beginning to end. I'm just not interested in sport at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Not one thing that I would sit and watch. In fact, when I was married,
I should change that question, because I'm sort of opens that. I've got to open it up. Like, I like watching V8s and the motorsport and all that on telly, and going to them.
I've been to Phillip Island, and after the first 3 minutes of them going around, boom, boom, like that, I go, well, nothing's going to look any fucking different for the rest of the day. What a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I do remember when I was married, when my husband then was a massive cricket supporter.
Yeah.
And if it was on a Saturday night or something, if it was root night, it was like, the over's on. Come on, let's get it done. All you people that have been married for a long time will understand what I'm saying. It's just, sometimes there's a job that just has to get done. And when the cricket was on, it was during the over.
You got to get down to business.
Phillip Island, it is about what happens on the campsite, because I swear to God, after 3 minutes of watching that go around, like, really, it doesn't look any different for the whole day. Yeah. Okay, so that's me and sport. 0.
It's all good. Next one. Okay. What celebrity does it for you who you wouldn't kick out of bed?
Oh, well, that Jason Momoa. Yeah, he does it for me. Yeah, he's
Aquaman.
Gorgeous. Yeah, Aquaman. Yeah, he'd be my pick. But again, back in the day, does anyone remember Grizzly Adams, that TV series?
I do. I love it.
I love a bit of Grizzly Adams. I like the sort of rough, hairy, unwashed, unkept, bushy.
Yeah. You remember that show that was all based on true fact, and that he actually?
I believe so. Yeah. That sort of
run to the
hills. We all have a look, don't we? And I guess that would be if I was, could pick my person, that would be it.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
It doesn't matter. Who needs to know names? It's just, if it was just like one of those one night stands, that was a lineup, I'd pick the one that looked like Grizzly Adams or Jason Momoa. What was his last name? Momoa. Don't even need to know his last name. Like, names are irrelevant.
I can't remember.
And Chewie would do him too. A Chewie would do him too.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a man. I reckon there's man crushes on him as well.
Yeah. He just put up a YouTube this week where he's rock climbing in Toronto, because he's doing the Aquaman 2. And he's pretty fit, like climbing up the walls and all that in there, like hanging on the 2 finger holds and everything.
Yeah, he's into it. Okay, that's me. That's my type. If there's anyone out there that looks a bit like that, in the right age bracket, because at my age,
clean shaven and bald.
Well, single women, when you're at my age, because I live a lot in blokey world, so there's no sort of massive shortage. But I have this saying, if they're younger than me, they're after a purse, and if they're older than me, they're after a nurse. And I don't want to be either to anybody. No. So I would probably remain happily single, I think.
Yeah.
Magnum PI.
Mine was I liked I was Sandra Bullock, and then also I liked the Mexican chickie that was in Dust Till Dawn and Thelma, I think her name is. Yeah. I just got a thing for dark hair, I guess. Yeah. That's all like, and also Catherine Zeta-Jones, she was pretty tight, and fucking Zorro and all that.
Yeah. Oh, so we've got Salma Hayek from Bolt Bucket.
That's the one, that's her. She was a spunk rat back in the day. Yeah. She's old. She's 10 years older than me, so she might be a bit how you going now, but
if you I haven't seen a recent picture. They do a lot of these reverse little videos now. I see on TikTok where they start with the person that's what they look like now, and they rewind to what they were. So
yeah, son's going driving. We'll let him give him a bit of time to back out.
We're up to number.
We're up to 7 still.
Oh, okay.
What else was I going to say? Something about that. Oh, I can't remember. We've got Governor's in the chat. He's just moved to Tasmania. How's Tassie going, Gov? He's just sold up in Brisbane way, up that way in Queensland, and moved to Tassie. His wife's down there running a cafe for 12 months, and he's finally left his job at, I think it's Qantas. He's up at the airport there in Brisbane and moved down there with his wife Tink and running a cafe down there now.
Nice, great place.
Not far from Launceston, so he's not far from Big Bert.
I was in Tassie beginning of 2019, just before COVID hit. In fact, when I was coming back, come back to Melbourne. I was going to head up back to Sydney one way, but I heard that they'd stopped a lot of the flights and that the Great Ocean Road was nearly empty of tourists. So I quickly chucked a left and I did Great Ocean Road while there was no one there.
Good. Yeah, no one on the road.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I'd always wanted to do it. So I thought, no, I'm just going to go that way instead. So that's the beauty of traveling without too much of a plan, like I had nothing.
Oh, exactly.
I just booked the day before, I just look at the maps and go, right, look on bookings.com and work it out as I go. In a lot of cases, my trips are very planned, especially if I'm doing barbering biker appearances. Like the South Island in New Zealand is down to the day. Like I'm booked solid. That 2 weeks I'll be booked solid. I'm doing appearances nearly every day. It's going to be busy.
You're heading down to Dunedin?
Yeah, I'm doing the Burt Munro Challenge.
Yeah.
I'm there for one. I was going to be there for 4 days, but now I've got so busy and booked in other places, I can only do a day there now. But that's going to be enough for me because, as I said, I'm not really interested in watching hill races and flat tracks. I mean, I watch something on the beach, but that's going to do me.
Yeah. Now, Burt Munro, that'd be awesome. Because I said the 2 Kiwi riders, when we did our New Zealand cruise, we hooked up
with them. Yeah, I'm catching up with them.
With the animal bus, and they drove the bus around for us. We just said, how do you like being a chauffeur for the day for these fucking drunken Australians? And they're going, yeah, no worries. And it was the best time. And Dunedin's a bit like Melbourne. You got all your fucking seasons in one day. Sunny, cloudy, fucking pissing down, rain, windy and cold. So all that stuff.
That's New Zealand, isn't it? I'm fully expecting a few days.
But then when you get higher, it's not too bad. We got up to Wellington and Bay of Islands and up sort of Picton and all that up north. Akaroa was nice. Loved Akaroa. And it was nice to warm up that way. But yeah, Dunedin's like Melbourne and Tassie. It's just it's cold. Oh, well, it's lower than Tassie, so obviously it's.
Yeah, well, I'll be there in the middle of summer, so I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good. I'll be on an Indian. I'm not sure if I've got a chieftain or a Springfield. I've got an Indian waiting for me, and off I'll go. Be great.
A red Indian. Right, we'll jump on to the next one. Oh, this is I don't think you drink anymore.
I drink.
What's your poison?
Oh, I'm just a wine drinker. I just like dry white wine or a rosé.
I haven't got wine there. I've got beer, spirits, and cider, and wine. I'll have to add it. Yeah. And your favourite hangover brekkie? What's your favourite brekkie?
Oh, well, I do like draft ginger beer, the alcoholic, but it's got to be draft. I don't like it out of a bottle. So, what was the other question? Sorry,
your best hangover brekkie.
Well, I don't eat breakfast, so I don't have anything ever.
Oh, okay.
You know, the other thing, I don't eat breakfast, and I've never had a hot drink in my life.
I remember you keep saying that you never had a coffee or a tea or anything like that.
Not even a hot chocolate. Never had a hot drink. Any sort of hot drink. I will have soup though. Some people want to get into a debate with me about that, but I see that as a meal. Like if I'm drinking soup, it's a meal. I don't think of it as a drink.
Is it a cup of soup or actually a tin soup?
Oh no, I won't drink cup of soup. It's got to be. I'm a really fussy eater, which is so I'm not like vegan or nothing like that. I just if I have soup, it's got to be freshly made, real soup, not from a packet.
Yeah, I gotcha.
If
like your mum's old
juice, if I go out and it's juice, it's got to be freshly juiced for me. I won't have that cold pressed shit in a bottle. Sorry?
Like freshly squeezed, not actually a drink. Like
it's got to be freshly squeezed. Otherwise, I'll just sit there and have water. I'm happy with that as well.
Fuck, I should do,
but I do love when I do eat. I love simple food like fish and chips is my death row meal. A good meat pie, a good hamburger with homemade meat patty, not McDonald's or anything. But so I'm a plain and simple eater, but it just has to be good quality with good ingredients. That's all I expect.
Yeah.
You know? No
I remember your interview on BB's podcast about your burgers and whatnot. I can't remember where your favourite burger was. Where was that again?
Oh, well, my favourite meat pie was at Nundle at the pub there. That was
Nundle. That's right, the pie.
Amazing, the meat pie. Burgers, there's been a lot of good burgers, but I just can't think of one at the moment. But, you know, I only eat mince pies, no fancy shit. You know, none of these bloody chicken pie or chunky beef or blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. Just a plain good mince pie. And Nundle has been the best so far. And the same with burgers. Just a plain, no fucking egg, pineapple, shit on the burger. Just a normal burger.
Yeah. I don't know if Roger's still in the side chat. I remember Rochelle fucking get stuck into him because he's got pineapple or beetroot. I'm going, fuck, you got to have beetroot.
You got to have beetroot. No, beetroot's good, but not pineapple.
Yeah, he's still in the chat.
Pineapple on a pizza.
He's just put it, fuck the forwards, go to the Mustang. Yeah, I remember him saying, and Rochelle give it to him, he doesn't like Vegemite, he doesn't like beetroot on a hamburger.
No, I love Vegemite.
Yuck, him said, you're not like a very Australian, are you?
Yeah. So that's it. Wine, burgers, meat pies, fish and chips, though. I love a good fish and chips.
Exactly. All the Aussie yakko, Aussie food. It's all the good stuff.
Nothing fancy. I mean, you know, if I go to a pub and there's lamb shanks or crumbed cutlets, I'll go for that. But, you know, on the whole.
Yeah. Drink the pub dry. I always drink the pub dry. And then went to...
Yeah, I'm going back to Mundle because I'm heading up to Tamworth in November. So I'm going to stay at Mundle one night and catch up with some friends there as well. It's a great place.
Nundle's nice. A top pub. The pub on the way, because we from Taree to over there, you go past Nundle, and as soon as you do, I think it's Smith's Cuttings or whatever it is, the cutting from Namdock to there.
Yeah,
you get the Nundle and you just pull over and straight in, give us a schooner, like rain, hail, shine. Yeah. It's a top spot. Everyone keeps talking about Nundle, but I keep forgetting where it is. But then when I realise where it is, I go, oh, yeah, I know that pub. It's a fucking ripper.
Yeah.
We used to do baseball trips on the long weekend in June, July in wintertime. And the animal bus would stop there because we had to top up because we drunk it all from Gloucester and Houndock and up to there.
Oh, so Steph's got a massive teepee tent. I'd be interested to see that, Steph. That'd be cool.
Are you taking that to the fucking whatsy? To the meetup?
Is Steph taking the teepee tent? Don't know. I mean, I'll be camping out. I've got a tent, which I've never used yet, so that's going to be an exercise, working that out.
Well, my plan is to get the missus to drive the 4B down because they've got the rooftop tent. But if not, I'll be just crashing by my bike, I think, like I normally do.
Yeah, like got to. Oh, well, they've got swags there you can hire for the night for $20 or something. So
yeah, $20. Oh, that's pretty cheap. If there's any left, yeah, that sounds all right.
So Roger doesn't like beetroot on a burger.
No, he doesn't.
And if he doesn't like Vegemite, I want to know what country he's from.
Yeah, why don't you like Vegemite? Fucking boot pot. I like how people say, "Oh, how do you eat that Vegemite?" I said, "Well, the real Australians, if they burn their toast, they'll just lather it in fucking Vegemite because you can't taste the charcoal when you're fucking eating it. Yeah. Or if you're a pussy, you just fucking put plenty of butter on it and just a little bit of Vegemite so you don't taste it as well." All right, I suppose we better go on to the next question.
Yeah.
I was watching the side chat there.
Yeah, me too.
Do that every now and then, have a stop and have a thing in the side chat. Next one, what was it? Oh, this is one. On life, what advice would you give the 15-year-old you? Like you yourself, if you were going to talk to yourself when you were 15, what advice would you give you? So
I'd say stop looking at dolly magazines and trying to be something that you'll never be. I was never going to be a skinny little blonde surfy chick. And that's all I grew up with as the ideal Aussie girl.
It's funny you say that. I hadn't thought about the whole fucking dolly magazine till you just brought it up again because that was the in thing back in high school.
I know. And I spent my whole – it affected me so much into adulthood to try and attain this look that I'm curvy. I'm not naturally a blonde. I mean, I'm blonde because of the bottle, but I could, I'm not that girl. And I've spent such a big chunk of my teenage years and young adult years wanting to look like something that I could never. So starving myself. Yeah. Going on diets, trying to, wear clothes that weren't appropriate or didn't fit properly, looking ridiculous. And I look back at pictures of myself as a young person and I wasn't at all fat or anything. But at the time I thought I was because I wasn't that. And so I would somehow convince my younger self that that is all photoshopped. In those days, I didn't understand what that was.
No one did. Yeah,
no one did. It was all photoshopped. It wasn't real. And I would probably have taken up a real campaign to because I'm a bit of an activist of things. I'm a bit of a fighter for things. And I would have, if I'd known all that, I would have found the strength to say, hey, and call them out a bit because it was so damaging. It was damaging to me. Like even to this day, I still try and be something that I'm not. And I've got to stop myself. It's just so ingrained in my DNA.
And this one too, like the Dolly's Doctor. I remember all the chicks at school and all that was reading Dolly's Doctor and all that stuff in the magazine. And you're right. No one knew about the whole Photoshop back then and everything else. And
that's it. And we used to think it was real.
And this one, fucking Bolt Bucket. That's all us young boys were watching too.
What's that? Sports Illustrated? No.
Preferred Playboy when I was younger.
Oh, right, yeah. But even those images were all airbrushed and everything, but we didn't know about that.
Exactly.
It just put such a big unrealistic expectation on girls, even to this day, I think. So that's what I would tell myself. I would tell myself it's all fake and to be happy 100%. With the way I am. And I'm happy with the way I am now, but in those days I wasn't.
Fiona Horn, she's in the Witchery. She's the lead singer of Def X back in the 90s. And she ended up saying oh, she's going to be in Playboy and all that. And so, oh, yes, they rushed out, got the copy, had a squeeze. And like you said, they're all photoshopped and they're all, it was like, no, it doesn't look anything like her. It's a bit of a disappointment, but her tits were all right and all that stuff. But I got a funny story actually about Playboys and penthouses and all that. When I was doing my trade up in Sydney, I was probably in. It's when fucking Newcastle won the comp. So what's that? 97, 87, 97, 87. The first time they were in it, or they were the first time in the grand final. I can't remember, but I think it was definitely 87 because I left my trade, got married in 91, 92. Anyway, I was staying in a boarding house. I mean, it was a house where they had 3 rooms they let out to kids. One time there for 3 months, I had a street kid as a bunk bed mate, and he goes, he come into a bit of money, so he actually stayed at this place. I said to him, so what are you going to do when you run out of money? He goes, oh, I'll go back on the streets. I thought, fuck, okay. Like, it really opened me up, like the whole street kid scene and all that and everything in Sydney at the time. But going on like that penthouse and Playboy sort of situation, there was a female there, I can't remember, she was in one of the other rooms, and the old geezer that ran the joint, he did the cooking and his wife sat down and watched telly, so he looked after him that way. But out in the backyard, he had a garage, and me and this Matt was a fiery from Newcastle. He was there doing his trade or his TAFE course and all that in Sydney at the same place. But he said, I can't remember the chick's name, say Janelle. She goes, oh, Janelle said that he's hit her up and asked her if he wanted to work with him. And it come, long story short, the fella ended up, he's apparently partners in a brothel, and he'd hit up all the young folk, young chicks that would stay at the joint, and like we were only young then, we unbeknownst to us. And then out in the garage, we were having a beer. We had to go in the garage to go to the fridge, and we've seen all these books up on the shelf. And I'm talking piles of books like this all the way across. He goes, fuck, let's have a look, see what one of these are. I pulled it down. It was a black label edition penthouse.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah. And we thought, oh, this bloke's a subscriber. So then we put 2 and 2 together. Like, she must have been like fair dinkum and all that. And
so I'm just saying goodbye to a few of the guys. They're all heading out now. So we'd probably get a bit long. So let's try and get through the next, 4 questions?
But it's sort of you had to be there type of situation.
Yeah.
I've got something just pop up here. Hang on. Yep, got rid of it. Next one, 11 years. Only 3 questions, not too far. What's your favourite thing you yourself love about your channel and YouTube in general?
What I like about my channel is I'm trying to create something quite different to most motovloggers with the whole makeover thing. So it's a bit more niche-ier, and I'm trying to reach out to people who aren't just motorbike riders, so attracting a whole new market. So, and as I said before, YouTube is just such a great legacy for me to have for the grandchildren, really, and to document my travels, and for me as well to look back. But what I like about my channel is the fact that I think I've got a clear focus now. Like I've been playing around now for a couple of years, so I'm now honing it into something very specific and niche, and very focused on what I want to produce. And what I'd like to produce now is, hopefully a weekly 10-minute episode of the barbering biker traveling to various country towns, finding the local that the locals have jobbed in, giving them a makeover, points of interest, other businesses. So there's a bit of recognition for the town, a bit of history about the town, the roads that you take to get there, and then doing that good deed for the local legend at the pub. So a very specific, structured, focused 10 minutes that I want to produce going forward now. Yep.
No, that's the go. 10 years of the future, grandkids are older, your videos should still be there. Exactly right. That's the whole thing about
that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
That's the same thing while I'm doing my channel, is just to show everyone and
Bolt Bucket definitely see that. But me too, mate. I thought it'd be a great TV series, and I thought it might have got picked up, but geez, it's a hard nut to crack. But anyway, so what my strategy now is, I'm just going to do it myself, and I hope that I generate enough interest that someone might say, "Hey, this is getting a bit of traction. Let's produce it even better for TV." Like, they'll understand that it's just YouTube. I film, edit, do everything, and with a bit of production behind it, it could be, fantastic. I've tried Netflix. I've tried. Honest to God, I've tried them all. I just got to give more. I've got to go out and do blowjobs on TV executives. That might work.
That might work. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We'll jump. Next one is, we're looking for the start of it. It's a long one. Here we go. It's tattoos. It's here we go. Tell me, tattoos. What was your first? Tell us the story about getting your tattoo.
I'll get the tattoo. Okay. Well, my first tattoo, favorite
type is the color or black and grey?
Yeah, I've got two tattoos. So the first one I had was color, and it's the comedy and tragedy theatre masks.
Yeah,
that's just on my hip. And
Theatre of Pain.
The comedy. So that's getting pretty old and faded now. I probably should, if I could be bothered, maybe have that recolored a bit.
And
the second one I got many years later was just the black. It's like a bit of a tribal thing, which is like, because my maiden name is Fisher and my business was Fish Out of Water Productions, and I'm a Pisces. So this tribal thing is like two fish hooked together that I sort of designed. Yeah. That's it. And I won't do any more tattoos. That's it. Done now.
Yeah, that's it. Been there, done that.
Tramp stamp. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm missing the
channel. I have contemplated actually having it lasered off, but I believe it's very painful, and I just don't want to.
Yeah, it's worse than actually getting tattoos. I say I was watching. I got a tattooist I watch. He's in LA, and he's a Spanish fella, and he's really good. He does cover ups, and he had this fella come in, and the chest was all lasered just to get rid of some of the blackness. And they asked him, I said, how's it lasered? And he goes, it fucking killed worse than getting the tattoos.
Yeah, I've heard it's painful. So, I don't care much about it anymore. So anyway, I just don't see it. That doesn't affect me.
Nah, that's it. Not a problem.
And so that's it. No more for me. I'm done.
Yeah. I'd like to get more, but they're just too fucking expensive. So I got one planned for my shoulder, but if I get around to it, the tattooists I want to go and do mine, they're either too far away or they're too busy here. So I couldn't. If it happens, it happens. Pretty much. Next one. What's the main thing to do on your bucket list?
Oh, gee. I have got a bucket list, and that's, I need to do, I want to spend 4 months traveling North America and Canada, which will be 2024 when I reach my 10-year long service. Up until that point, I need to ride. I'm doing, the South Island of New Zealand. I want to do North Island of Vietnam, all UK, which is Wales, Scotland, Britain, the whole lot. And I'm running out of a bit of time. That might have to wait till I come back from America through Europe. So I want to ride. The only place I'll be taking my bike, I'm shipping my bike to America because it's 4 months. But the other countries, I'm going to get bikes that are relevant to that country. So when I'm in India, for instance, it'll be a Royal Enfield. When I go to the UK, I'll get a Norton or a Triumph or something like BMW for Europe.
Have you shipped your bike before?
No, I haven't. No, but I've got a friend who has done it a number of times. And
is it pretty pricey?
I'm probably looking at around $5,000.
Yeah.
Each. I mean, that's, I think, there and back, maybe a bit more.
Is that's Aussie
dollar?
Then
if you think about it, if you're going for such a long time, hiring it would be a lot more money. Not that I mean, I have a deal with Indian, so I get press bikes when I travel. So that's the only reason I can do a lot of this, because hiring motorbikes is expensive. But
yeah,
for most of my followers are I have the equal amount of followers in Australia as in America. It's about the same.
Yeah.
And I'm not the star. My bike is the star. So in America, because it's very Western steampunk equestrian themed, it gets a lot of talk and a lot of attention. So there's a whole other level of reason why that bike needs to go with me, because that is the shining piece of the motorbike. That's how I've customized that is that's what they all want to see.
Your channel, exactly right.
Yeah, so that's worth doing it for America, but not so much for the other countries. Like the other countries, it's just different. It's different demographics. You know, in the UK and Europe and the Asias, it's sort of, I'm probably more of the star because of my personality than the bike. But in America, the bike's a star, 100%. Yeah.
And what about your scooter?
Sweet Baby Jane. Well, I love that thing. I love scooters, and I buzz all about in the city on that, because I go to meetings in town, and living in Newtown, it's fantastic. I can park anywhere, lane filter, and I've done that up, as you've seen. It looks like just a crazy little version of the Indian. But as most of you may know, I've now just bought a Royal Enfield Classic with a sidecar.
Yeah, I see
that arrives next week from Tassie. So I'm very excited about that. I've done the 3-hour sidecar training a couple of years ago, and I rolled it down the hill. I'm absolutely shit at riding sidecars, but I need to practice.
So it definitely be easy with someone in the sidecar.
Oh yeah, I'll get sandbags and stuff like that if there's no one with
couple sandbags in there.
Yeah. I've got all that sorted, ready to go. But
go to Bunnings and buy a couple of bags of Rapid Set and then throw it in the seat.
So tropical ride. That's hire a locally produced bike in each continent. Yeah, that's the plan. I want to ride bikes that are from that region. And I mean, America doesn't matter because Indian are American anyway. So that's by the by. That's a whole different little strategy with the American trip. But the others are just going to be like, 2 weeks to 4 week little jaunts, get the bike and go on, ride, do my thing.
Yeah. Old Bucker's right there. I'll probably about have 4 cartons in the passenger seat driving along.
Yeah.
I thought about a sidecar, but then I don't think it'll do the corners too well.
So that's my bucket list stuff. I got lots to do. I mean, I figure I got another good 8 to 10 years left where I can physically do this, the type of living that I want to do. I mean, sure, I could go older, but I've got 10 good years where I'm fit and healthy. I hope, fingers crossed, that I can do all this sort of stuff. I get into my 70s. I think, I might be pushing stuff a bit, to do the adventures that I want to do. So I've got to get cracking. COVID stuffed up a few things. It's put me 2 years behind.
It's stuffed up like a lot of things.
I would have knocked over India, Vietnam by now, and now I've got, so they've not happened. So there you go.
True.
All right. Oh, we're up to the last question.
Last question, yeah. It's future plans for your channel this year, and what should we keep an eye out for? Or I think you just pretty much answered it.
A very focused, 10-minute episodes of the barbering biker visiting country towns and bringing a good deed to the town and doing that makeover, like finding a local legend and having some fun with that, and then reimagining them. Yeah. So that's, I want it to be very focused. Sure, there's going to be, there'll be footage of the roads to get there and the scenery, and there'll be points of interest and historical significance to the town. And, and I want to keep them to about 10 minutes. I mean, I think 10 to 15 minutes is a good amount of time.
Yeah, it is a good. I even find myself now looking at videos, if they're a bit long, because I think everyone has got 10 minutes in the day. If they are a bit longer, then they'll save them to watch later on.
Yeah, but they've got it. I don't mind them if they're like, I follow, obviously most of you would have heard of Itchy Boots, and, and then there's another couple in America called Big Two Wheels Big Life. I find their videos interesting, and they engage me for the 20 to 30 minutes that they often are. But I have watched some videos that are long, and it's just minutes and minutes of road riding, which a lot of people love, but I get bored with that. I want to.
Yeah.
My stuff, as well as motorbike roads and things, there's a lot of people interest stuff in my videos, so that might be a point of difference. I want people. I'm interested in people.
You know? No, I'm a bit like that too.
So no blowjobs.
You click on your standard motorlogger ones, and like a lot of American ones, and that's all they're doing is riding and looking at the highway as they're talking. Like it's good if they got something interesting to chat about, but if that's all their videos are like, riding down the highway or something like that as they're on their way to work, then it does get a bit boring.
I don't know if anyone follows. There's a girl called On Her Two Wheels. Yeah. I don't know her real name. She's an American girl. She's just given up a corporate job and she's become a full-time YouTuber. Now, she has been YouTubing for years, and I don't know how she did it. I take my hat off to her because she's, she put out a video every Wednesday and Sunday without fail. And I remember writing to her once. I go, but she never got back to me and she did a video and she titled it "Camping Alone," and it blew up. She got 20,000 followers from that one. That one video made her so well known. Then I started to look through her whole channel, and she was so regular. And I'm thinking, how does someone come up with content every Wednesday and Sunday and hold down a corporate job? Yeah. So then I started looking at her videos, and so if she wanted to go to the post office on Wednesday, she would video that exercise, get a nice coffee, she'd ride to the post office, she'd have a little chat, she'd come back, she'd have a chat about something else. So that was a video. That was one. Yeah. Now, that's all well and good. I mean, I don't know how she does it because I hold down a corporate job and there's just no way I could, we all know what editing's like. It takes hours. Yeah. And so, I'm not sure I subscribe to that strategy, but it's worked for her because after she got some followers, especially from the Camping Alone titled video, and she's now in a position where she's going full-time as a YouTuber. She's given up a corporate job. What a big call that is. Yeah. She did a video on the money she made from the video that blew up. So once she went from maybe 5,000 subscribers to over 20 overnight practically. Yeah. So she had all these subscribers. So then she was monetizing it. So she went back and looked at what she earned in 1 year, the year that the video blew up. So a good year. Yeah. And when it was all said and done, YouTube paid her $5,000 or $6,000, but out of that she had to pay tax. So she might have ended up with $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not much money for all that work. So she has still gone and left her corporate job. You should check her out. Her Two Wheels is her name.
I was subbed to her for a fair while, but then when she started the camp one, that's when I sort of stopped watching her. So Belt Bucket, the motor camping has gotten over 1 million. Is that her pretty big? But she has lost her. I agree. It's become a bit now forced, and I don't find much interesting. But having said all that, I haven't been watching her lately. So I see some of her promo stuff on Instagram. Yeah, that's like I just said. Like I was following her there for a while, and then when it got to camping, it looks like she was just camping in the one spot all the time. And then, I do understand she's sponsored all that, and she's got to do reviews of bags and stuff and things like that. Yeah. And to her credit, I've seen the channels. Yeah, she did blow up real big there.
You look at the comments,
in the amount of.
You look at the comments of the thread. They're saying that she's gone. She did a review on a helmet. She went from 80 subs to over 1,000 but she has. I mean, to her credit, she's worked it out and she's doing it, and she's now living the life that a lot of us dream of. Whether her content is our thing or not, power to her because she's kicking the goals. So good on her.
Yeah, she's winning. Yeah, exactly right.
Mm.
And she's
but it's horses for courses. Not everyone's going to like what I do, but I like it. I like doing it. So there you go.
That's exactly right. Like that's the same thing. It's hard to sort of break that line like that. To like you said, to her credit, she's done it and she's doing it well.
And like Roads of Oz is just commenting. They've gone full-time YouTubers. I don't think unless you got millions of subscribers, I can't see. I've heard that Itchy Boots, who has over 1 million subscribers, I don't know how this is true, that she earns about 200K a year. But, you got to get nearly 2 million subscribers to get to that point. That's a lot. So, but she's amazing. I mean, she's so inspirational, that woman. The places she goes on her own, friggin' amazing. Yeah.
She bought a new bike and truck.
Oh, okay. Is that the on her 2 wheels? She was begging for gas. Yeah. So she's got Patreon.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big fan of. I don't like. I have a situation where if people want to shout me a drink, I have a $10, $25, for businesses $50. I forget because not many people have. I've had a few done it. So what you do is if you shout me a tank of fuel, for instance, I give you a big shout out in the video. If you've got a business, I give you links and I do all that. So I help promote it back. So, or you can shout me $10 and, I can buy a milkshake and I talk about you when I'm having the milkshake. This milkshake's been bought by Joe Blogs. Thanks, mate. And I believe you're in Oregon, in America. I hope to, so I create a story around them. So I feel I'm giving something back if they're going to go to that trouble of donating something. But when you get into the point where you've got Patreon and you're just asking for money without any genuine thanks, then I'm just not sure about that.
No, you're exactly right there. Like that's I couldn't do it. I couldn't ask for money the way some of the people that are doing it. And with the Patreon, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good thing. But and
there's just this fine line with getting money off people for nothing. To me, if someone was to shout me a tank of fuel, I'm so eternally grateful that I give them the big,
it's definitely borderline. I understand what you're saying. It's borderline for people, their generosity in helping you out.
Yeah.
And there's the other over the borderline where you're using people to do and live off and other shit like that. It's a big call. And,
but I think she's very brave, and I'm amazed that she can.
I noticed her other half tried a channel there for a while too, and I subscribed to it. It was pretty clever with the camera and all that, but he's just sort of phased out a bit as well.
Yeah, I never sort of got onto that for him. I knew she had her partner was into it as well.
Yeah, because she gave him a plug and all that, and I watched it for a while. He done a few of them because he's a car head and camera. And she explained like his videos are going to be completely different to hers, which is true, and I didn't mind. But then, it got old, so I just thought,
it's just different horses for courses. I mean, there's so many YouTubers out there, and we're not going to. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I noticed when I upload a video, within seconds, I have a thumbs down. Does anyone else notice that? Within seconds. Like there's no way that they could have even watched the video because not enough. If it's a 10-minute video and I've uploaded it, within minutes, there's a thumbs down. So they couldn't have even watched it. So it does my head in. I'm thinking, and I've done some videos where I've just harmless stuff and I go, how could you hate on that? But I wish there was some sort of app that you could find out who's doing them.
It shows you who's giving you a thumbs down.
I'm sure it's my ex-husband's wife.
No, exactly right. It's I had one for a while, and then just ended up phasing out and whatnot. But someone told me who it might have been, and I go, no, too bad type thing. And
I can't work it out because they just appear so quickly. I'm thinking there's no way they could have even watched it because it happened within seconds of me uploading it. I go, what the. Always just one. Yeah. There's always one.
Exactly right. And then even I think Rob even throttled down under. He gets a couple every now and then.
And Roosevelt. So who did I piss off? I'm sure I piss off. I probably, I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed my little crazy 1 minute lockdown videos that I do where I sometimes they're just all funny shit that I put together, but every now and then I rip into an anti whatever. I give them heaps. So every now and then I get a bit.
You had the ones where they'd or even when they give you a bad comment, you put them out. And he goes, "Yep, fucking here, this bloke here." I thought, yeah, good on you. Like, if they're going to try and bigot you and all that.
I know that I've lost a few followers, especially in America, because the very nature of the worlds we live in, particularly with motorbike, my age group motorbike riders, they're very right wing. Republican Trump supporters. That's just the nature of the demographic that I'm dealing with. And I know I have pissed off a few of my American followers because I've had a go at the the conspiracy theorists who tend to live in that thing as well. I've lost followers. I've been blocked by people. I've been abused by them. But anyway, they're crazy fuckers. And I won't stand for misinformation being peddled out like that. It's just totally incorrect. And I'm sorry if any of my friends here believe that, all those theories. I'm sorry, I don't. And I've debunked every one of them so far. We can still be friends. But don't be like my sister who lives in Bali, who basically told me I'm going to die in 2 years because I've been vaccinated. And it not only did it upset me, it made me angry to think that anyone could say that to somebody, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking argument, that one too, isn't it?
Yeah. It is another, and so I'm here to prove her wrong for a start, but I'm also here to all her other crazy conspiracy theories, the QAnon, the rabbit hole that the Kool-Aid drinkers go down. I can debunk every single theory that they have. They trot out all these doctors. Well, they're not doctors. They might be doctor of bloody, a doctor of architecture or something. None of them are medical doctors.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another rave. That's, don't get me started because I will fucking go hard.
Oh, exactly. And like all you guys in Sydney, the ones that protesting and just, it's just fucking it for everyone else. Like we're up here on the Mid-North Coast going, what are you guys doing? And even as soon as we see a riot, we go, oh, there goes the cases. They're going to go up, they just fucked it for another fortnight and shit like that. And it was hard to watch up here. And we were only in lockdown for 4 weeks or something like that. And you guys were months.
Look, it's not easy. I understand it's not easy. And I don't, if you don't believe in the vax, that's fine. I've got no problem with any of that. But when you get attacked for being vaccinated, and mind you, and the unvaccinated getting attacked, it's just not nice. But I don't see any need to tell someone that they're going to die in 2 years because someone's implanted something in me that they're going to press a button in 2 years and we're all going to evaporate. It's fucking ridiculous.
Exactly. Well, then, how many people wouldn't have lived if they didn't get their kids immunised and all that, and all the other shots back in the day, and for your mumps and for your measles and for your chicken pox and all that stuff, and even back in the was it the pox? That was the biggest killer out of the whole lot, and the only way they could do that was treat it with a vaccine, and it was mandatory back then. My old man, I rang my old man up and wished him happy birthday or Father's Day. It was one of those weekends, and he's going, "You been vaccinated?" "Yeah, Dad, I've got to get my second one on the 15th of September." "Oh, that's good." And he goes, "Oh, before you guys were born, back in the day when the smallpox and all that and everything else had started, it was mandatory. And if they didn't fucking do it, they'd get shot."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Back in the 50s.
But we live in such a different age now with social media and everyone's talking about it. So it just makes the whole thing different. But look, probably best we don't carry on because I'll get all riled up and I'll start upsetting all my mates here.
We talk about, we'll finish the questions, but how about we talk about now, when are you planning to roll up at the meetup?
Okay, so at the content, if it's a really nice day Friday, I may go the day before and just camp out there on my own. That's if it's really nice and warm and beautiful. If it's shit, I won't. Otherwise, I will be there Saturday morning before 10 o'clock. I'll leave Sydney. I'll leave Sydney about 7:30. Spend a nice leisurely couple of hours to get there.
Yeah.
And so I'll be there. And I reckon if we can all get there around the 10-ish, find our spot, set up. I mean, I've got stickers to give away. I've got some stuff to sell, some leftover stuff from the event that I was producing for the Indian mob.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really informal like that. Find a spot, set it up. And there's other, I've invited like Live to Ride magazine. I don't know if they're coming. They might set up a little stand.
Is Pugs coming or is Loaf
coming? Well, I've told them about it and they know about it. I said, just come and, because they've got the big camper, they could set up why not? Yeah. I've told any businesses that will listen that they're welcome. Shannon's are interested in coming. I've sent them all the emails that they wanted from me, but I haven't heard back. So they also wanted to co-promote the event with some other competition they're running. I said, yeah, that's fine. Just go for it. Like really this year, it's just a
learning curve.
Just let's just come and have it. And if it becomes something that's really good and it needs to be an annual event, then then it's sit down and go, okay, this needs to be produced a bit more now, and that's when we might. I don't know. I mean, there's a bit of time and energy goes into things, which I don't mind doing. But if it gets to the point where it's like there's a lot of work, I mean that is my job, so I've got to look at things. But I think there's lots of great venues we can go to as well. I think we move it around a bit and share the love with all the different venues and stuff like that.
Exactly. That was the same as my sort of plan too when we did start, or if the meetup did eventuate, was because my plan was to have it at Nora Head Caravan Park, and then I planned to ride the next day just to Bar Beach, and then to where did I go? Bar Beach. Then Stockton, then Nelson's Bay, have lunch in Nelson's Bay, then Anna's Bay, and then link back down around to Nora Head Caravan Park for just the barbecue and drinks on that night. And that was just going to be a simple meet and greet meet up type of thing. Then the yearly thing, we were going to have it elsewhere, like probably up Queensland or closer to Queensland or down south. I sort of chose that area because Newcastle Airport's there. If people need to fly in, then it's not too far from there to go to the caravan park.
Yeah, true. But I think I'm not interested in doing group rides or poker runs around the thing. No. That's not me. I think get there any way you want. Take whatever roads. Come with a group. Come on your own. That's your ride. That's your business. It's about the destination and gathering. So that's how I look at, when I get invited to a lot of bike runs, and if it's a charity, I'll often register to donate, but I very rarely will ride with groups. I'll say, where are you having lunch? And they go, we're at this pub. I go, I'll just see you there. Here's my registration.
And that,
too many crazies.
That was only to be, that wasn't mandatory. Like if you wanted to stay there, because I understood people were riding from distant destinations to get there. It's just going to be a day ride. If people wanted to go for a ride to see the area, then that's what it was there for.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen anyway. So
anyway, don't worry. We're all in this. We're all in this together. This is all of us to putting this on. I'm just a bit of a whip cracker. So I just, if we're going to do it, let's fucking do it and let's get it sorted and get it out there. But this is all of our event, and hopefully it will grow. And for the ones that can't make it this year, this is going to be a great practice run.
Yeah.
The ones that can't make it this year, next year will be sweet, and we can really, we've got to do we keep it on the same dates? I mean, thankfully the date's been pretty good for most people, and it was just a bit of a, let's just go for that because we think everything will be open, blah, blah, blah. So.
Oh, definitely. It was a different way of thinking. Like this one was like, it's more of a, when are we going to get a lockdown and when can we ride and when can we do stuff? It really wasn't like, oh, what's going to happen on that fucking weekend? It was like, nah, we'll do it then. And so we can get out and go riding. Whereas before when I sort of had trying to organise it, everything was sort of like, but the beginning of December was sort of a bit of a stretch because it's too close to Christmas. And then you didn't want to be in winter time and you want to sort of to find a good spot.
I'm just waving to Governor.
Yeah.
Yep. It'd gone to Tassie. So I'm sure we'll catch up sooner than later. I'll get back down to Tassie. It was great going down to Tassie. I got to say, Tassie was very tough on my bike.
Yeah, it's pretty hilly. It's a lot of people don't realise how hilly it is down there.
Oh, just twist it. I mean, and my bike's 430 kilos. Like, it's not, it's a cruiser. And I think Tassie, you need a light, zippier bike. Yeah. If I ever go back to Tassie, I think I'll do it on a different bike.
Yeah. Well, even my scooter here, I remember I had to register it. It was 280 kilos tar weight from the first registration I got for it. Yeah. And that's stripped down. Like, there's no bags or anything on it.
Yeah, I'm loaded up. I'm fucking huge. Yeah. So if people are saying, let's sort out 2022. Well, okay, just I guess people just put forward ideas, where, what is an area that you think would be a good gathering at, where there's a good venue where we can camp, that there's a grog license, it's got the food, all those that infrastructure needs to be there.
That's it.
And a date, in good weather, of course, that doesn't conflict with some big events. We don't want to conflict with brighter days, for instance, or, those big.
Well, like you're saying, like the date probably works because it's definitely
first weekend in December, and it's a good Christmas catch up.
Exactly.
It's usually good weather.
You usually get the rains are sort of in November, and then it's sunny or sort of late November. So it's weather-wise and date-wise, probably even keep it the first weekend of December like it is. Yeah. And I think that's a good call. I do. I mean, it seems pretty hard.
This one hasn't conflicted with very much stuff at all. In fact, a lot of the clubs are saying, "Oh, that's great. That's one of our club rides. We'll now go that way. We'll book the club ride in to go there." So, but anyway, certainly something to think about. I mean, there's another couple of great venues. I don't know. This is New South Wales, so I only know New South Wales. There's Fuel Cafe down at East Lynn, which is down near Bateman's Bay on the south coast.
Yeah, I remember when East Lynn was just a shop and there was only a Bowser there.
Bede Cooper, he's got 5 acres at the back. He's creating a motorcycle museum, camping facilities. He's got the cafe, barbecues. Like that would be a perfect location. But I also don't want it to be always New South Wales. I'm aware of the fact that we've got people from other states and, need to sort of think about a few things. That's all. But that would be an excellent location.
Yeah, I've spoken to him on Instagram and all that, and he said, well, that's what he's trying to do is get people to come down. And he said, even like you, like yourself, you grew up in Ulladulla and lived around there for like however 18 odd years. You're out of town now. You've been out of town living. I've been living up here 20 odd years now. He wants it to be a place for you to come back, have fun, have a beer, and like you said, have a nice venue
and it's Bateman's Bay. I mean, for the Victorian folk, it's not too bad a run.
No, you zip up the coast or even up the
hill. It's not too bad, but it's a long way for the Queenslanders. That's all, and not even bad for a Tassie run, but for the far north Queensland, that's a big hike. Anyway, look.
But then that's the thing though. Like you got to think the airport's closer, so if they fly to the airport, it's only 2 hours south of fucking Sydney. It's Ulladulla.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, but like Clinton said, you can't please everybody, and it's hard. You got to go, I think, where the majority of the population is going to make it easier. That's like we couldn't do it, for instance, in Western Australia quite as easy because the majority of us aren't there.
No, exactly right. And then
anyway, we get this one done, and we have a chat about it, and we just keep the first weekend in December free, and we'll see.
Yeah, I reckon. Keep the date like it's set in concrete. First weekend in December, everyone's it's easy to remember. It's like Bathurst. Bathurst used to be the long weekend in October, but they've changed that. Yeah.
Anyway, there's
no worries.
All right, well, it's been really fun. Thanks so much for having me. And
not a problem. It's not like the usual question lives that all these other people do. It's just simple meet, greet, chat, and find out what the person's like.
Well, I hope everyone's been okay with me talking about losing my virginity and at 14 something and trying cocaine at 60. What a gal!
That's the thing. Like I said, you find out the person and and what they originally like, and
yeah.
That's the whole reason why I do it. And it is
most people know that I'm a bit of a joker and a bit of a, I don't take it too seriously.
Everyone likes it, having a bit of a laugh and a giggle, and the questions sort of bring that out in people, which is what I've tried to do.
I like the whole Aussie larrikin character thing, just have a bit of a go, mate,
But that's us. Exactly
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, lovely to Brett, Bolt Bucket. I mean, I know Steph's gone, Clinton, and like Roger and Rochelle. I don't know if they're still there. Harley Roadshow.
He's seen he popped in there earlier.
Tropical Rider Oz. They might have all gone. Well, now we've had a good chat. We've been going for 1 hour 40 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, usually goes for an hour and a half.
Okay, well, I break the record anyway.
We had one. We went for 2 hours. That was because Mad Kiwi was popping in. That was with Yo-Yo.
Yeah, so I got a message from Mad Kiwi. Is he actually in New Zealand, or is he? Because he said
he's in New Zealand. Yeah. He's in further south of Dunedin.
So I've messaged him and say, well, I'm down near you, so I might meet up with him. But he said when I do Australia, he's got a sister or something that lives up Whoop Whoop, and I'm saying Mad. I said, well, anyway, I mixed it up. But anyway, I will try and catch up with him and the 2 Kiwi riders when I'm there, and they will all feature in when I go to New Zealand. I'm hoping to do a video a day. So when I travel, I tend to do a bit of a shorter video each day, so you can see each day rather than capture footage over 3 or 4 days and go, oh, where do you start? So I'd rather do, a little 5-minute odd one each day. So I'll get to meet all these people and put them in that. So that's what happens when I travel overseas. I've done one for America. When I went to America, 4 years ago, I uploaded a little story each day. That was good. And Anyway, all right. Thanks so much.
That's the go.
I've drunk all my wine tonight. I've got nothing left. I've had my chocolate mousse thing. I think I've got some ice cream left in the. I need something else.
Here we go. Rate it. No worries. Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll call it that. Thanks, Anonymous Biker, for popping in, but sorry you missed it all. And
where is Anonymous? Oh yeah, okay, Anonymous Bug. Yeah, watch. Yeah, familiar.
And there's another one. Years only just popped in too. Unfortunately, you missed it. You'll have to watch the rerun.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay, guys. Lovely to see all you guys. Thanks for joining us, and
we'll see you all at the meetup.
It's not that far, and I will have my new little trailer with me at that meetup.
Yeah, that's sick. That thing.
Oh, not the teardrop. I'm selling the teardrop that was built. That's way too heavy. That's
too big. Yeah.
But I've found this other little pod thing that I think is going to look interesting by the time I finish with it.
Not a problem. Okay, guys. Cheers.
Okay, what do I press? What buttons do I press?